and kind of a couple things that I see as great opportunities in Norman for us to really maximize what we're doing. I had family come to visit me here in the city, and I thought, you know what? Let me see if I can try what I think should be the best idea for Norman, Oklahoma, when we're really looking at development and yet blending it with downtown and other districts. And I said, let me take my family out and see if they enjoy it. So I thought, what a plan. So they decided to come in. They're coming out of Chi-Line, New York, and they were staying in University North Park. Why? Because they stayed at Embassy Suites. Embassy Suites being one of the largest hotels in the city of Norman. Plus, they had all the amenities that went along with that. They were staying right next to the YFAC. Now, understand the YFAC was absolutely booming this weekend. They had tournaments here. They had a lot of teams here. We had a Comic-Con inside the hotel. There was also other conferences here. We had soccer tournaments, baseball tournaments. So a lot was happening in Norman this weekend. It was very, very busy. So my thought is, okay, what am I going to do? Am I just going to leave them there and let them walk around the area or what? And I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to take them out. I'm going to show them Norman, Oklahoma. And we drove around, I am not kidding, for almost 2 hours. So we went up north, we went out east, we went in south, and I took them all over the place. I wanted to show them every part of Norman. We went to Campus Corner, we went to campus. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do this running. We're going to go everywhere. And we're going to check things out. And we did. And I told them all about Norman. I told them all about the history of Norman, the background of Norman, how we're an art city, a music city. I got to showcase everything we're doing, talking to them about architecture. We had an absolute blast. And then I'm like, you know what? They're hungry. So we went on the east side and they grabbed a quick bite to eat at like a McDonald's. It wasn't even that exciting at that point. It was just something, but it was on the east side, and I thought, you know what, it's near where we're at. Then we decided we need coffee, and I'm like, we need coffee. Listen, when you're running around like that, you need some coffee. So where do we go? Yellow Dog. So we went downtown and we went and had coffee from Yellow Dog. I'm like, also talked about Levity and all the amazing coffee shops, Beanstalk Coffee and Snow, Stella Nova, and just went through all the coffee shops. And I'm like, look at all of these opportunities for us. So next time they get to pick a new one because we get to do another coffee shop. Then I'm like, okay, we got our coffee, we looked around, we checked out downtown a little bit. So then what? So then we decide that we're gonna go ahead and go back into the hotel, and we're gonna drive. Well, first of all, it took him, like I said, by campus. We didn't go in, but we just drove by campus, and then we're gonna go and took him back to the hotel. We hung out for a while, visited, and then it was dinner time. So we have a choice to go to dinner. We have places all over Norman to go to dinner. Like literally, we are a culinary mecca of dinner. But I said, what do you want to eat? And they're like, Mexican food, because of course I come from Chi-Line, New York. And I'm like, okay, Mexican food. Well, my wife and I have a favorite. And I said, our favorite place to eat is Volcano. So now, interestingly enough, Volcano is on the east side. So if you go to East Village at 12th and Lindsay, there's a Volcano. We absolutely love it. It is so good. The food is amazing. The setup is amazing. Everything was just on point. So we took the boys over there. We ate. We had a great time. And then it's like, oh, wait, we need dessert. So, you know what? Where do you get dessert in East Village, in the East Lindsay district? Well, of course, you go to the ice creamatory. Why? Because it is a horror themed ice cream shop. If you've not been in it, it's phenomenal. I have videos. I did this last weekend, so check those out. And I have one more I need to edit and post yet this week. But we had an absolute ball. Walked down there and had ice cream that was incredible and phenomenal as well. So it's super, super cool. Then we're like, we need to walk this off. So what are we going to do? Well, of course, what are we going to do? We're going to go and walk on campus. Why? Because campus was beautiful. So we went and literally walked on OU campus all around, went in the great reading room. If you haven't been in there, it's phenomenal and beautiful. We have incredible architecture and talked all about the university and got to brag on the university and what it's about and the things that they're good at. And so it was a chance for us to really celebrate everything Norman. And then afterwards, they're getting tired, so I got to take them back. So I drove them back to University North Park and Embassy Suites, and I dropped them off. And what did they do? They went and had a couple drinks. So they spent some money there too. So ultimately, they had this experience in Norman. They had an experience that covered all of Norman. They got to learn about our history, our city. They ate and they drank coffee and they shopped in different places all over the city. Because guess what? Our city is a big space and we need to shop all of it. So it's not just one spot. But I put my little brain together and I said, that's interesting. What are we going to do with the 6 million people that are coming to visit University North Park? And that is the current University North Park, not the new projected one that everybody's having a thing about. The current one, what are we going to do with all those people? They're coming here. They're coming to Norman. They're coming to the shopping center. So how do we, the city of Norman, downtowners, the developers, everybody working together like a big old dysfunctional family, figure out how we're going to get people, 6 million people from that area to the rest of our city to check out everything. Because guess what? Lindsay corridor is amazing. East Lindsay, West Lindsay campus. You go north to south, go through East Lindsay, have an incredible experience. Go through campus, have an incredible experience. And then West Lindsay, and the food on West Lindsay is beautiful. They've redone West Lindsay. I've always argued they got to get done with East Lindsay. We're in talks, I'm just saying. And there's things happening, but it's exciting. So we have that. We have the Classen corridor if you want to go south through Noble and Slaughterville and Lexington and Purcell. I mean, we have all great food corridor down there too. Just out of Whataburger if you're a Texan. We have all those things. If you're like, I need to live near one of those, we got you. We have, of course, downtown. Downtown is a cultural center and a heartbeat of our city. We need to make sure that downtown, everybody knows downtown exists. I still think we are not the very best at promoting our downtown. We're getting there. It's slow, but we're getting there. I'm like, whether it's a Main Street program, a bid district, whatever, we need something that markets that downtown. Because when I go to Broken Arrow, for example, the Rose District knows how to represent itself. I know the Rose District, and the Rose District is in the middle of a neighborhood. It is not on a main road. You have to drive into it a bit like the Plaza District, and yet it is packed because they know what they're doing when it comes to promotion. They're right next to a railroad track. They've got a farmer's market. It's very similar to what we have downtown. So what are they doing? And so they're promoting that Rose District, and you know it. So that's one of the things that we need to do as a city. We can do that. I think also the developers in University North Park need to really work on how do we transport people, because I want to get their people other places. If you're going to a soccer tournament and then you're driving down Robinson, I want you to know that Porter exists. I want you to know that Porter exists because then you're going to see Gray Street. I want you to know that Gray Street exists because then you're going to see Maine. I want you to see Maine because then you're going to see, all the districts over there. And so there's all the things that are happening that really make things interesting. We have a bunch of districts that are developing at this point where we need to create identities for them, which we're doing, but then also share those identities. Make sure that people know what is happening. I'm going to say something that maybe is not the most popular opinion. I think the Walker District is not a great name for our arts district. There's something about it that does not tell me where you're at. So it's become historic downtown Norman, which I think makes sense to me. But it's just one of those things that I'm like, we have this district flags that just don't make sense. So I don't know if it's a rebrand or what, but it's something that needs to happen where we're like, okay, what kind of arts district is this and how do you describe it and how do people know about it? Are all of our brochures for downtown in every hotel at University North Park? Right? Good question. Is there wayfinding signs from University North Park to downtown? Like, is there signs that say historic downtown this way so that we can tell people that it's there? I've heard that there's out there rumors of talking about eating, culinary, live music, drinking, playing downtown. It needs to happen. And I'm like, we have visitors coming now that we can actually maximize that by making sure that we let them know that, hey, this district exists. So I think it's very, very important. So we have an opportunity. I took my family and did downtown, did east side, did campus, showed them campus corner, drove them around the city so they could get a good tour, talked about real estate, talked about the quality of life, talked about Oklahomans as having the Oklahoma standard that we're some of the nicest people on the planet and that there's no place better to live than here. I did that. I literally was an ambassador for my city this weekend. And you know what? They had a great time while they were here. They can't wait to come back. And I have made them into Norman, like Norman people. So I mean, they're excited. So I hope that we can get there and we can do this and create this because I think the power in that is exponential. If you agree, hit like, and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to find out everything that's happening in Norman, Oklahoma, because we have amazing things coming. You just wait and see.